you see the issue of mastering your craft in Nigeria. In in don't forget, we're also really focusing on low income households, federal universities, and then let's say, okay, you've entered university, and even during the lectures, during the talks, during the classes, during the tests, the lecturers will be saying, look for a skill, oh, look for a skill, oh. Don't rely on your certificate, oh, look for a skill. It's not every day you come to school and you just stay on your book. Better go and look for what to do because there are no jobs. So even when you're in a university and you're trying to concentrate and you're trying to put in your best, you also have it at the back of your mind that what am I getting an A for? Because if my family is not respectable, if I don't have the money to bribe my way through, I am gone. You are not gone and I am not gone. But for the typical Nigerian, this is just the story. If you don't have the money to bribe your way through or pay for access, because you don't really get access based on merit, then you are finished. So imagine the amount of work it puts in, we have to put in. Imagine the amount of work that is put in to master your crafts. You can't even master your craft properly because while you're also trying to learn to do more than you can already do, you're still trying to look for money, and you're still trying to balance schoolwork, and you're still trying to deal with the extortion. So it's a lot of things. It's a lot of things really, and I wonder how we even stay sane despite all these things. And somehow maybe you're a first son or you're the first child, you also get billed by elders, by relatives, by maybe sometimes siblings. So not only are you burning the midnight candle for your crafts, you're also burning the midnight candle for school. And then when you graduate, you begin to think, where did all the money I have worked for go to? And you begin to think, oh my gosh, maybe I'm a wasteful spender. But you're not a wasteful spender. Because don't forget the extortion that happens in the university. And then you have to bribe your way through sometimes, even though you know you did well, you merited it. They just be like, is that all? It's just like having all your documents complete during a road search, maybe because you're a young boy or a young woman, mostly boys, you're a young boy and every of your documents is complete in the car, but somehow the police doesn't find anything on you, so they try to harass you by saying, oh, you're going to give me your car keys, you're still going to have to pay me, and you don't have documents, and so find us something now. And instead of it to be something, oh, they are begging for it, they begin to task you like you're supposed to do that for them. And it's just because the country is difficult, not justifying their actions or anything, just because maybe they're not getting paid well, maybe they've been under sun for hours, but I'm not justifying anything. So you see, even when you merit it and everything works well, you still have to kind of bribe your way through. It happens, it's been happening now with YX. Even in schools that are respected, somehow these white officials come arrange with teachers, and then they still have to tell the children, the students, even children that know what they're writing, you still have to tell them to pay you. So imagine all these things that happen. You've already told taking insults from your neighbor, you've already been overwhelmed at secondary school, you've faced that kind of self-esteem damage, and then you come to university where you should just not rest, but where you should calm down small, and where you should think, okay, after here, what next? You still have to work twice as much. And then you can't even see where the money is going to. You can't even put your hand, you can't bring the money from your craft back to your craft. You take it back to school. And when you now become a graduate, if you don't have any soft landing, if you're not maybe part of a trust fund plan, you begin to start from scratch again, also keeping it in mind that you may not even find an employment. So it's all these things really that makes our youth not master their crafts properly. This is not to say please do master your craft, please burn those extra hours, because it will pay off in the long run. And then you see tailors not knowing how to cut correctly. I mean, you're supposed to measure something 8, you're measuring a 7, maybe because you're rushing to class. This does not say that, oh, we can't be excellent, but I'm saying the weight is too much. It's too much for a person to bear. It's really too much for a person to bear. And one would think, oh, you're an adult. When you go out of university, everybody's expecting you're an adult now. What are you still doing? You should be out of here. You should have built your house. You should have gotten married if you're a man. You should have had a house already. You should have done this. You should have done that. And then they begin to compare you with birds. And they say birds, the mothers, the parents of birds push the baby bird out once it starts growing wings. So if it falls, it falls. If it flies, it flies. In Nigeria, there is no sky. In Nigeria, if you're not born into wealth, you're automatically underground. There is no sky for you to start flying. At least for a bird, there's a sky. At least he knows that, okay, this is his habitat. In Nigeria, there's no habitat. So you have to walk your way through. Even the university is supposed to be the sky for us, but it is not, because the system doesn't even reward the diligent. So how are we supposed to even make it through? So when I hear people use that as a metaphor for us working twice as hard, I shake my head, because people that say that have no understanding of what it is to be a Nigerian graduate from a federal university, or from, because we know we may not get jobs. We know. So we have to really, really work our way through. And really, how do we do it? And let's not even forget, in Africa, in Nigeria, you really, really own your life when you're done with school. Even when you're done with school, you still don't own your life completely. And so we have to do a lot of trial and error before we can finally get this right. And I really, really commend anyone trying, because that's the whole purpose of life, right? To try. At least try to be better, try to be resilient, try to be humble. This process of trying makes us better people, really. And I just want to, really, we are doing a good job. So please, in Nigeria, as youths, we have to find our own sky. There is no sky for us. There was no sky for our parents, because if there was a sky for our parents, maybe things would have been softer. But it is what it is. So we have to really work our way through in love. We should not now be angry at, oh, look at what the world you brought me into, because they weren't also asked to be born. So we should try to master our crafts, while also trying to stay sane, while also trying to love people around us, while also trying to extend grace to people. Sometimes I feel they don't deserve it, but the Lord is ever gracious. So if the Lord can do it for us, then we can do it for other people. And what do you do for a living? What are your skill sets? And if you don't have any, why don't you have any? Just really, really tell me about what it is to have a skill in Nigeria, and how much income are you even making? Can you even afford your own skills? And yeah, let's just all just see, okay.